your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lady, get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lady, get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J. Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type that come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lady, get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lady, get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lady, get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lady, get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music, and welcome to another episode, the Saturday edition of the Chop Shop. I thought I wouldn't have time today to do what I do, but we got a whole lot of rain out here in Chucktown and the East Coast, so had that some time, so I figured I'd come online and cover something that one of my supporters sent me. Shout out to ABT. It's a direct follow-up to what we was talking about yesterday, when the Tasha K incident, and how willfully ignorant she was. I'm just going to use that, about the ills of slavery, how willfully ignorant she was to compare, and this not only for Tasha K, but to anyone else, to compare the ills of slavery or black people to the Ku Klux Klan. And to help me solidify my point a little bit further, ABT sent this to me. Bryan Stevenson, I don't know if some of you folks know who he is, but he's quite influential here in the United States, especially when it's about keeping the legacy, well, I won't say legacy, but the horrors and the ills of slavery in the conscious mind of folks. We're not going to let you just whitewash it because it makes you feel good. During this particular stream, we're going to cover that. And then we're going to do a little bit of YouTube fuckery starring Jay Prince and Izzy Bands talking about AI. Okay? Shout out to Pop Out TV with that one as well. But again, folks, happy Saturday to everybody. Hope everybody's enjoyed their weekend so far. Like, share, and subscribe if you don't mind. But without further ado, let me take this off the screen And let's get straight to it. I ain't gonna trying to hold y'all here all day. I know y'all got better things to do. Well, I won't say good things to do, but y'all got better things to do than sit around and listen to me chop it up all day. But I appreciate y'all being here. I really do appreciate it. Hold on just a second. Let me take this off the screen. Pop this on here.
Now, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in Edinburgh, Scotland. The U.S. celebrated 250 years since its founding in July, giving the country an opportunity to reflect on U.S. history and also how that history is remembered and taught. President Trump has brought new attention to these questions through his repeated attacks on exhibits at national monuments and national parks, the Smithsonian museums, and in school curricula. This is President Trump speaking last year.
We want the museums to talk about the history of our country in a fair manner, not in a woke manner or in a racist manner.
Okay, well, what is woke, Trump? What is fair? You're according to the folks that are around you, and your fairness is let's not talk about the bad part of that. Let's only put about the good things about slavery. Well, let me ask you something. And you ask any average black person or anyone that's ever been in any kind of bondage, what's good about slavery? What's good about it? There's no good tale that you can tell about slavery, whether it's indentured or forced upon you.
Which is what many of them, not all of them, but many of them are doing. Our museums have an obligation to represent what happened in our country over the years, good and bad, but what happened over the years in an accurate way.
Last year, President Trump wrote online, quote, "The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing."
Okay, so who is he calling downtrodden? Oh, okay, we know in this country, slavery did not affect white folks. So we can take y'all out the equations. We know that the Latino community or the Asian community, although some of them were in internment camps and in cages, they weren't a part of this chattel slavery. So who is he calling the downtrodden? Can't be for one set of people he's talking about. He just lumped all black people in one sentence, downtrodden. And y'all let this guy get away with that. This is how Trump talks. And there's black folks out there trying to convince me that he has not a racist bone in his body. Y'all heard Poetic Flacco the other day talking about how much he loved Trump. You saw, what's his name, Byron Donalds, how he just falls out of his boots when he sees Trump. And what's the other guy? The Aba man, Tim Scott here in my state. But when he says stuff like this, Tim Scott and all you other dark hue people that follow him, he's talking about us. He's not excluding you. He's not excluding you at all. Well, you can think that all you want to, Randy. That tells me what your mindset and mentality is. I expect a few of y'all, some of y'all folks to come in. Listen, you can like Trump and your opinion of whether Trump is the best president or not. I bet when I drop that link, you won't come up here and tell me how Donald Trump is the best president ever. Meanwhile, stealing your money left and right. You must have went to Trump University, huh? You must have drunk some of that Trump vodka, huh? Or maybe you bought some tickets to the Trump USFL event. Or maybe you was one of those guys that was holding the door for Trump when he went back there behind stage and looking at them young girls. Or maybe you was the guy, one of those folks that's trying to hold Trump unresponsible before what's going on with the Epstein files. Maybe you're one of those guys, huh, Randy? Maybe you're one of those folks, Randy. Now let's move on, Randy.
Nothing about brightness, nothing about the future, Trump said. Well, today we spend the rest of the hour with a man who's dedicated his life to confronting the legacy of slavery. We're joined by Bryan Stevenson, founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative. Based in Montgomery, Alabama, the Equal Justice Initiative has now opened 4 legacy sites to document the country's history of racial injustice.
And see, this is another part that I wanted to speak on. This should be to me a federally funded thing, but it's not. This, you as the United States and y'all so-called your proud heritage, you should want to know the good and the bad parts of this country. But it seems to me that somebody will eventually go and defame this. Somebody will go and do something, put some graffiti on it. Somebody will do something to one of these 4 monuments, even so much so that they had to take it out of the country. We're going to get to that. Come on.
The Legacy Museum, the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, the Freedom Monument Sculpture Park, and now Montgomery Square, which shows the resistance. The Legacy Museum tracks the history of millions of enslaved Africans who were abducted and trafficked across the Atlantic to the Americas. The Legacy Museum has just opened its first international exhibition, The Legacy of Slavery, here at the Edinburgh International Festival in Scotland. It marks the museum's first major exhibition outside the United States exploring transatlantic slavery and modern racial injustice. In a moment, Bryan Stevenson joins us here.
And the one thing that I don't understand, when everybody uses this words transatlantic slavery, and then only try to talk about it like it was confined to the United States. Transatlantic means just that. You can't talk about slavery and not include all of it. That's even the part that was happening here in the Americas. You got to talk about how it got from point A to point B. What were some of the ports? Where else were black people taken? You can't leave that part out. And up until now, this is one of the first exhibits outside of the United States that explored this, that put it in your face. But if you come down South Carolina, if you go to some of the states here, all you see is Confederate monuments. You got to go into a building down off Market Street somewhere near the water and find the old slave market to find any remnants of the hells of slavery here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's tucked off in a corner down a side street with a small sign that says Old Slave Market. But all over South Carolina, all over Charleston, it's littered with Confederate monuments, Confederate statues, Confederate this, Confederate that. High schools named after Confederate generals, parks named after Confederate generals. But we had to take the ills of slavery outside of the United States. And when you talk about it, why can't you folks just get over it? So I'll ask y'all the same thing. It's a fair question. Why can't y'all just get over the fact that the South lost what you need the monuments to remind you of? Let's go.
In Edinburgh. But first, I want to turn to a video narrated by Bryan Stevenson about the Legacy Museum in Montgomery.
It's important that we begin to commit to an era of truth and justice, that we tell the truth about our history, that we find the words necessary to understand all of the pain, all of the suffering that was created by 400 years of enslavement, lynching, segregation, and injustice.
Well, you're absolutely right there, Bryan. Me and a couple hundred other thousands, folks that are much more educated than me, are talking about this. Well, you thought I just created this in my backyard? It's not only me talking about it. I'm not keeping it alive. I'm making sure it's not buried. I'm making sure that history isn't buried, along with thousands of other folks, Brian. But I appreciate you dropping through, Mr. Stroud. Okay, here we go, Marty. Let me go ahead and say this since you came in. As long as you're respectful, I don't mind reading your guys' comments. I really don't. As long as they're respectful, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's what does. I guess that's part of what you guys will call the First Amendment. So, Marty, I'll give you his. Here's this Marty Beckham, 7889 says, Trump is trying to make our country good after Sleepy Joe and the Muslim Obama ruined the economy. They left Trump with 9% inflation to deal with. Well, Marty, either you don't do your research or you're just being, I may have to use this a couple of times, willfully ignorant, huh, Candy Cane Lane? Maybe you're just being willfully ignorant. So let's take Obama, let's take Sleepy Joe, and let's take Trump out the equation. Let's just talk about Democratic presidents and Republican presidents, Marty. Let me put this up on the screen so you know I'm addressing you solely. Let's talk about that. Every time a Democratic president left the White House, he left the United States better off. And I don't know how old you are, so I'm going to take you all the way back to, let's go, how about to Jimmy Carter? That was in the 80s, right? Let's go back to Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter left with a surplus, right? When the Reagans and the Bushes got in office, what happened to the economy? What did Obama do to bail out the banks and the auto industry? And how many people went to jail behind that fuckery? Now, again, Marty, we're just talking about Democratic versus Republican presidents. Go look at how the economy changed, how it hit rock bottom with Trump. Obama left Trump with a surplus. Yeah, some of y'all will use the pandemic and say, well, the pandemic came and all that. But what's up now? Gas is, what, almost $4 a gallon just nationwide, or a little over $4 a gallon nationwide. Not to mention diesel. That's about $5-something, $5.30, $5.40 a gallon. Y'all were complaining about Biden, talk about the price of eggs was $6. But right now, it's even higher than that because of what? The tariff that Trump convinced you folks that was good for you. So, again, either you're being willfully ignorant or you don't do your research. Again, what's up, Adora Brewster Fisher? Thank you very much for that tidbit of information. There's something that Democratic president did, as in what is Trump is doing. He's trying to erase. He used the word woke, not understanding where the word woke came from. It was for Black people in the South that was traveling because you really couldn't go to the airport. There was no way if you had a relative up north or in another part of the South, there was no way that you could not travel through some of these sundown towns. Being woke is recognize where you're at. Ain't that right, Kim West? Being woke is keeping your head on a swivel, making sure you don't be caught in one of these sundown towns at night. That's what woke meant. That's his bottom line to it. Just like with everything else, you folks coming in trying to hijack it. DeSantis started it. Right. Again, a president that's convicted. And I can guarantee you right now, if the American public is smart, these midterms is coming up, in less than 5-6 months, 3-4 months. These midterms are coming up. Trump and a whole bunch of them. Have y'all noticed what's going on there? You notice the rats jumping ship? What's the girl's name? The press secretary. Didn't she just, fuck it, I got to go. You didn't have babies before you was in the Trump office. How about Marjorie Taylor Greene? She was a staunch Trump supporter, and all of a sudden she hating Trump. No, they're going to get you for that insider trading that you did. How about the enrichment of Trump's entire family? Bitcoin and this and that. Huh? Well, are you using the moniker Jarhead? Were you a former Marine? Does the word simplify mean anything to you, sir? You know what? You were probably a shitbird. You were probably one of those guys that was sitting back over in the corner of the barracks talking about how you didn't like black people. You're not a jarhead forever. You're a shitbird forever. I dealt with folks like you my entire life, inside and outside of the military. You're not a jarhead. That's the only place they would take you. You're a cat 4. That's what you are. Now, get the fuck out of my chat. Not even gonna put up with that. Kim, hey there, ABT, how you doing? Appreciate that. I shadowed you out at the beginning because this is what we're reviewing. That what you sent me. Appreciate your service there. We love the Navy. Y'all took us where we needed to go to fight, patched us up when we got hurt. So appreciate it. If you was one of them Navy corpsmen, we really needed you, especially sometime when y'all was giving us that grunt candy. I wasn't in the 0311, but that grunt candy came in handy sometime. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue. But yeah, ABT, that's what we're viewing right now. Mr. Stevenson, and here's a review on this slavery issue.
It begins in Africa, where millions of people were kidnapped, abducted, taken from their homes, taken from their families, chained, forced onto ships where they were displaced forever. Without understanding that legacy, we don't appreciate the harm, the damage, the tragedy that surrounded the founding of this country.
And that's the thing that I was trying to point out, and that's the thing that Information Man, shout out Information Man, was trying to point out to Tasha K. You should have been selective in your anger, but you grouped all of us, and you did not expect the backlash that you are receiving right now by saying that FBA, whether you agree with the analogies of FBAs or whether you agree with the analogies of ADOS or whatever you agree with, the mere idea that you opened up your mouth to compare black folks to the Klan and stood on it and then made that half-hearted apology. We all find out why now. Again, shout out O'Shea Dukes Jackson. You trying to get close to white man. You out there trying to hawk $99 bottles of wine. Yes, he is. He absolutely is. We need more Bryan Stevensons on this planet there, ABT. But I shout out O'Shea Dukes Jackson. And, there's always a method to somebody's madness. You got to figure out why people do things that they do. Sometimes you got to break it down to the smallest things. She trying to hawk some wine for her winos, but the winos ain't buying it because the majority of people that support you, Tasha K, is not going to pay $99 for some sparkling water, especially when they can go get it for $24, $25. Now, you might catch a few suckers. P.T. Barnum said it's a sucker born every minute. But for the people that support you, they're not going to pay that $99 for a bottle. So you got to find a way, ABT, She got to get the crossover bucks. She got to get the white. She got to get the white money. She got to go get the big bucks, the crossover bucks. And what better way to do that? Shit on black folks. So maybe you should, instead of talking about that, maybe you should have done your homework and found Bryan Stevenson. I'm gonna get his name right sooner or later. Bryan Stevenson, and do a little homework before you open up that yappa.
We still live in a country where there is this problem of racial inequality, racial injustice. And the narrative that created that problem of racial difference continues to haunt us today. And so this museum is dedicated to helping people understand the journey. We want people to understand the suffering that slavery created.
That's Bryan Stevenson introducing the Legacy Museum in the cradle of the Confederacy in Montgomery, Alabama. Well, Bryan Stevenson has crossed the pond and now is joining us here in Edinburgh, Scotland. He's the
You know, I don't know why. I know what happened, because when I was downloading this video, it just said video playback. So when instead of typing Bryan, I filled the metadata as Bryan. That's why it's shown on my screen, because I'm reading the bottom of my caption. That's why I'm having struggle, because I'm like, this name ain't right. His name is Bryan. And I should know better. I got a nephew named Bryan. Damn it, man. I'm going to go in the back and kick myself a little bit while y'all listen to this, all right? My apologies, Mr. Stevens.
the founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative, also the author of the best-selling book, Just Mercy, a story of justice and redemption. The book chronicles his years as an attorney representing prisoners on death row and was turned into a movie, Just Mercy, starring Michael B. Jordan as Bryan Stevenson. Bryan Stevenson, it's great to be with you here in Edinburgh, especially just coming from this morning I spent.
You know, one thing, I wonder where all the, the manosphere is full of Michael B. Jordan fans. Am I wrong? I wonder why those folks never talked about this movie. I wonder why none of the manosphere guys that literally, they're like little girls when they're talking about Michael B. Jordan, especially when it comes to the Marvel comics and all that, and Creed. Wonder why they didn't talk about this movie. Guess it wasn't no money in it for him, huh? Huh, Angry Man? You couldn't talk about this, huh? Huh? How about it, Angry Man? Oh, I ain't forgot you, boy.
At the Legacy of Slavery Museum, that's at the library at the University of Edinburgh, and talk about the significance of going global, at least international, with this museum.
Well, thank you, Amy. It's always an honor to be with you. But in putting together the content we have at the Legacy Museum, you begin to appreciate just how global the institution of slavery was. And I don't think there has been the kind of acknowledgement and reckoning in Europe with the role of these European powers that were primarily responsible for trafficking those 13 million Africans across the Atlantic Ocean. What happened during the transatlantic trade was really unprecedented. There's always been slavery in the world, and there have been different moments where people have been enslaved.
Yeah, ABT. You don't think I haven't noticed it? For sure. That is for sure. When there's no YouTube fuckery going on, or there's no back and forth banner about who's zooming who, nobody really want to hear I'm not saying nobody. I got to shout out to my regulars, folks like you, ABT, like Shar and Kim, and a few of the others that's always here, no matter what topic I'm covering. Logical assessment, no matter what topic I'm covering, you guys are always here. And I really do appreciate that. I really do. And I'm sincere when I say that. But, again, you're right. If I was over here talking about Jay Prince, which we will in a little while, that mudfish would probably be in the clouds waiting for me to drop the link so he can come up here and tell me how good he is and what he do. But we're talking about something of some substance. And like you, Candy Cane, every time I fire up a stream, you're one of the first people here. Shout out to you for that. But I'm sure you've noticed it too on your streams. When you're talking about something of substance, ain't nobody. It's crickets up off in our streams. And that's not to say it's us. So sometimes we got to feed the beast. I hate to say it that way, but sometimes we got to feed the beast and slip in some. What's up there, Mike Spearman? Mike Spearman is another one. Let's go.
But to dislocate, to kidnap and abduct 13 million people, take them across a terrifying journey where 2 million died, and then to create this legacy of...
Now, I want y'all to think about this for a minute. 13 million people. Do the math. How many black men, women, and children are in the United States right now? And let that sink in of how many people actually was involved. Black folks was involved in those sardine cans that they call slave ships. Think about that. Give the number for a minute. Go find out how many black people is, and then look at that 13 million. That's a lot of folks, man. That's a lot of souls. And some of them didn't make it across that pond. You don't know that you're absolutely right, Kimmy. The Africans weren't innocent. There were some out there that were treacherous. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. What's going on, Mike? How you living, my man? Good to see you.
Slavery, which we live with in the United States and across the Americas, is something that I think needs to be more honestly acknowledged. And so we were eager to have an opportunity to present this content on this continent, which, as I said, hasn't done very much to acknowledge this history. So I'm really thrilled that the organizers of the festival invited us to bring a component of our museum here, and I've been really, really excited to see so many people taking it in.
Sarah Lewis, who we had on last week, the art historian from Harvard, who's written this incredible book and now has an exhibition opening in Chicago on the life and death of Emmett Till, pointed out that today, August 11th, but in 1841, Frederick Douglass gave his first anti-slavery address in Nantucket. What I was so struck by today at your museum here in Edinburgh was that he came here, too, to address slavery, to address Europe, to talk about, and Africa, to talk.
He addressed Europe and Africa. This wasn't the first time. Again, and I say this all the time, and people might think this is cliche, but for those who don't know history, it's bound to repeat it. And you think it was an accident that Mr. Stevens ended up in Edinburgh? You think it was an accident? No, he followed the footsteps of Frederick Douglass. But you'll hear some black folks shitting on that man. Why? Simply because at the end of his life, he decided to fall in love with a white girl. Does that make him any less great? Think about this. Think about the times that Frederick Douglass was in. He was in another part of the world telling everybody about this slavery, it's not just in the United States. Y'all got your hand in this pot too. Or Africa, I know we might look alike, but y'all got your hand in this pot too. All of y'all are contributing to this. And let me address it. See, Tasha, if you would have done your homework, or if you would have not been so willfully ignorant, that thought would have never even crossed your mind, much less being able to utter the words. Because you would have known better.
Talk about how people were enslaved.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of rich history. I mean, many of these countries were, in many ways, not just complicit during the transatlantic trade, but during America's Civil War. There were people in Scotland supporting the Confederacy. There were people in the United Kingdom that were trying to sustain slavery because of the economic benefits to people in this region. And Douglass understood the importance of challenging that and confronting that. And so he did come to Scotland and not only energized abolitionists here, but he made the very powerful arguments that he was so uniquely gifted to make about why slavery needed to be condemned globally. There could be no place on the planet where we would tolerate the inhumane treatment that slavery represented.
And that's one of the reasons why you cannot go to the world courts and sue the United States for inhumane treatment or racism. You got to go through the United States first. But these are the things that Frederick Douglass was doing way back when. Again, I want y'all to think this man was what? A former slave at one time or the other. Where did he get this education from? How was he able to speak so eloquently, so fluently, so articulate himself so well at that time in history? Anybody ever ask yourself that? Where did this knowledge come from that Frederick Douglass has? You think his slave masters taught him that? You think the people that held his parents in bondage, his grandparents in bondage, his brothers and sisters in bondage taught him to be this eloquent when it comes to education? Remember, it was a crime for slaves to be able to read, much less write. If they even drew a line in the sand, they might have got summarily put away for that. And I'm with you too, Kim. I think she did know better, and that's why people are not letting her off the hook. That half-hearted apology, I think she did know better. You're not going to tell me that Tasha K is not an educated woman. No one can tell me that she didn't go through some kind of formal training somewhere that someplace and sometime, whether it be college, high school, whatever, that she should have never willfully compared the struggles of black folks or what black folks did to the KKK. You talk about your apples to oranges. No, I think you're right, Kim. I think she did this on purpose. Maybe trying to throw shade or something. I don't know. But again, sometimes everybody's eyes open up at different times. So if you go back and really look at Tasha K's platform, it's full of mess. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying he was a plant. I'm saying that other folks saying that he was a plant. I'm just saying the man was well before his time, Rudem. Shout out to you. I'm saying he was well before his time. No matter what side of the fence that you lean on, back in that day, what Frederick Douglass accomplished during that time was more remarkable in itself. I don't think he was a plant. I don't think they knew what to do with him. Like my man said in the Django, at that time, he was that nigga in 10,000. What do we do with this articulate man? So no, I don't think he was a plant.
legacy in Scotland and across the United Kingdom is again something that I think needs to be acknowledged more clearly.
And talk about the Scots who came to the United States who were involved with the slave trade. A massive number of people who own.
Again, James Wiley, thank you for that bit of information. You're absolutely right. Tasha, you tried to compare the FBA movement, however you want to look at it, agree or disagree with it, to talking points, the originator, whoever started it. But I don't think any of them killed this many people, whether it be ADOS or whether it be FBA. These are documented. It's not the actual number. This is the number that's documented. Imagine the ones that was never unsolved or never reported. One of those numbers, one of those people, that 4,500 right there, James, represents my childhood friend, Carl Williams. So you can put him in there. And if this exhibit ever comes to South Carolina, I will make sure that my friend Carl Williams' picture is on that wall.
And particular families who owned 10,000 slaves.
When you look at the American South today, you absolutely see the footprint of Scotland and Scottish immigrants who occupied that region and enslaved, as you said, thousands of people and created this institution that was so resistant to emancipation, so resistant to freedom. And what's interesting for me is when I think about Douglas, I also think about my own struggles with my American identity. And this has been something I've been thinking more about in this 250th year. I've often struggled with my American identity because I am not the child of immigrants. My four parents did not come to this country seeking greater opportunity.
Nor am I. I'm not the child of an immigrant. According to what I know about my family's history and my family's lineage, we were one of those folks on that boat. So if they want to put a marker on me, I would have to use the ADOS marker. There's not my family, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. You know, down in the South, women live a long time down here in the South. Why? I don't know. But they live a long time. So a lot of us that are over 50 probably met our great-grandmothers. A lot of us that's over 50 here down South, a lot of us are not too many generations removed from slavery, just based on the age. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, died at the age of 102. Do the math. That means somebody real close to her must have been in slavery. A lot of folks say that, Mike, that a lot of enslaved Africans came from West Africa. A lot of folks do say that. That is well documented. You're absolutely right with that.
They did not come seeking shelter from some distant threat. They came in chains. They were victims of a brutal abduction. They were trafficked across the terrifying ocean where millions died. When they arrived on these shores, they could not pursue an American dream. They were enslaved. And for generations, they were subjected to the brutality and the violence and the bondage that slavery represented. After emancipation, they were betrayed when our courts prioritized states' rights over constitutional rights. They were subjected to this era of white supremacy and terror violence where thousands were lynched. Millions had to flee lands that they owned. They went to the North and Midwest where they had more security, but still were subjected to bigotry and discrimination. When I was born, I could not attend the public schools in my community because of my race. The public schools.
Let me tell you something. And again, this man is literally speaking the life that me and the majority of my siblings lived. There was a time when growing up as children, there was parts of town that we could not drive through. I remember this distinctly, being 7 years old, in the back of the Fleetwood station wagon. That's when chicken places became, you could go, and the name of the chicken shack was Winners or something like that. But we couldn't go to the front. We had to pick up our food to the back. There's a little town that near where I live in, they have a square called Heritage Square. It wasn't too long ago that black people weren't allowed in that square. If you know the city of Charleston, there's on the Battery. It's on the waterfront where you can oversee forts and look at Fort Sumter. There was parts of the Battery that black people couldn't go to, and this was recent history. Beaches, water, the Atlantic Ocean. Black people in South Carolina couldn't go swimming because it was we fucked up the water, the ocean, by getting in the water with white folks. So we had to create our own beaches. Mosquito Beach, as they call it. I didn't make this word up, nigger beach.
Schools weren't open to black children. When lawyers came in and finally opened up those schools so that I could attend school, and I went to high school and college and then law school, I graduated from law school and was still subjected to a presumption of dangerousness and guilt. As a young lawyer in my car on the streets of Atlanta, the police approached me, pulled their weapons, pulled me out of my car, and threatened to blow my brains out because they suspected me of doing something criminal in front of my own apartment. And for the last 40 years, I've stood next to poor people, black and brown people, who should be presumed innocent in our court of law, but have in fact been presumed dangerous and guilty. And when you live through that life, it's challenging to kind of think about your American identity. But doing this history work has caused me to reflect differently about it. Because what I realize is that those 4 million people who were emancipated after slavery were extraordinary people. They could have chosen revenge and retribution against the people who enslaved them, but instead they chose America. They chose to commit to this country. They built schools and families.
That's why I say when it comes to this so-called American patriotic, you can't get more patriotic than black folks. If you look at patriotism in its core, you can't get more patriotic than black folks. Because like Mr. Stevenson just said, we could have went at y'all, white folks. We could have done some Nat Turner shit to y'all. The marching, the dogs on us, the fires, the bombings. Think about this, white America. If I'm stinging you, I'm talking to you. But this is who you are. This is what you have done. You should be glad that black people haven't said, you know what, fuck it. And rumor has it, that's why you folks ate Nat Turner, because y'all thought he had some kind of supernatural powers because of his bravery, because his wanton desire to stand up against tyranny and has seen his folks in bondage. But then again, it was a Yassa boss who turned him in. History rewriting itself all over again in the YouTube streets. Tasha K. Since you want to compare people to things, let me go ahead and compare you to that Yassa boss. Is we sick, boss? Since you like to drop shit on the table and give that faraway stare, that's what I'm doing.
And and churches. And I think they became great Americans because of the choices that they made. Despite the violence that they faced and the threats that they faced, they continued to work to build a more perfect union. I live in Montgomery, Alabama, and when I think about those extraordinary women in 1955, who risked their lives by saying no to racial segregation on buses. What Claudette Colvin and Susan McDonald and Aurelia Browder and Mary Louise Smith and Rosa Parks were saying when they refused to give up their seats is that they were saying, I intend to be a full American. And I think they became great Americans. And the 50,000 black people who stayed off the buses for 382 days and gave.
See, that's what you got to do. See, Tasha, you should have, if you would have known history, if you would have known history, you would have known that you shouldn't have done that. Hold on a second there, folks.
Birth to the civil rights movement were great Americans. And this history has shaped my new identity because now I want to be a great American, too. I want to create an America that honestly confronts this history. And it's not greatness based on wealth or power or status. I think greatness has to be based on our commitment to equality, commitment to justice, our commitment to fairness, our commitment to eliminating bigotry and hatred. And that's what this exhibit is about. It's about rooting us for the more complete understanding of who we all are, not just African Americans, but all of us. We are all survivors of these eras of violence and terror. And to reckon with that, we have to appreciate who has been great and who has not been so great. And those who have tried to perpetuate and sustain these institutions, have tried to preserve the legacy of racial hierarchy and white supremacy, who've tried to adopt mindsets that honor that, are people who can't really claim the greatness that I think is key to our future in the United States.
Your great-grandfather was a slave? Was enslaved?
Yes, my great-grandfather.
Yes. Yes, Mama Dory was a slave. We all know her. And we make sure our children knew her. And I'll make sure that those children pass it on. Mama Dory was a slave. Yes, she was. Yes.
Grandfather was enslaved in Caroline County, Virginia. And it's so interesting because, you know, growing up in a really poor, racially segregated community, when integration came, a lot of us didn't want to talk about where we were from. We knew we weren't welcomed. And so I didn't talk about the fact that most of the adults in my community didn't have high school degrees because there were literally no high schools for black people in our county when my dad's.
In the 70s, folks, in the 70s and 80s, there were black high schools. There was black high schools, Barnes Wilson, C.A. Brown, all these different schools that was only for, you can't find a remnant of a black high school. They're either parking lots or just gone. But all the old high schools from the 70s and the 80s are still here. They're not torn down. Some of them are not active, but they didn't tear them down. They didn't turn them into parking lots.
Generation came of age. And I didn't talk about the fact that many people had outhouses and running water. And I went through school kind of holding that truth about my family history. But when I got to Harvard on my first day of law school, the organizer asked, well, all of us students, a group of 12 of us, why are you in law school? And my classmates.
Okay, listen, salty nug monster. Listen, again, I'll say this to you with be respectful, but I'm gonna read your comment because maybe you just stepped in the door. So I'll say this: those who don't know history is doomed to repeat it. So it's obvious that you don't know history by that statement alone. Who fucking cares about slaves over 100 years ago? There are slaves today. You don't think we know that, sir or ma'am? You don't think that we know what the prison industrial complex is? You don't think we know what the 13th and the 14th Amendment did? But hang around. You're about to get educated. Hang around, sir Oh, ma'am?
All started talking about how they were the sons and daughters and nephews and nieces of lawyers. And it made me uncomfortable because I realized I wasn't related to any lawyer. And after the seventh or eighth person made these family connections, I realized something I hadn't even realized until that moment. And what I realized was that not only am I not related to a lawyer, I realized I'd never even met a lawyer. And by the time they got to me, I felt diminished.
I don't understand what you mean by that. Black sports speaker cabinets. I don't understand. Those who live in history can't live today. What you mean by that? I'm not saying take you back to just take yourself back to being a slave. But what I'm saying is you can use it as a beacon or a monitor to point out this was wrong. I don't think no person goes back to the wants to go back to this. I don't know what you're trying to say, so I'm not even going to comment on it. You lost me with that. Maybe you should say what you mean a little bit differently, because I don't understand what the hell you're talking about here.
And I didn't want to answer the question honestly. I told a joke and I got out of there. And I called my mom and I said, Mom, I don't think I belong in this law school. And my mom said, what are you talking about? You belong wherever you go. Now you go back there and tell those kids why you're really in that law school. Tell them about your great-grandfather. And so I did. I went back and I found some of the students and I told them that my great-grandfather was enslaved in Caroline County, Virginia. And even though it was against the law for enslaved people.
See, let this make sense right here. Too deep for me. But you're over here listening to me. You trying to tell me someone that in my stream listening to me coming here with a comment telling me it's too deep for me. You found me. I did not find you. And Gravity, you too. Wait a minute. I got something for you. Hold on a second, Gravity. Let me show you what I think of you low IQ folks that come in here. You're calling me low IQ, but you came into my chat. Let that make sense. But go on. Yeah.
Go on. I'm sorry. Somebody trying to talk to me while I'm working? Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on. I tell this sumbitch to walk the fuck out right now, or we done for the day. Go on. I'm sorry. Somebody trying to talk to me while I'm working? Go.
No, you ain't got to hang around. You ain't got to hang around. Let me see here. Let me read your comment here, Teresa. Before, I know y'all coming here with the intent of distracting me, and so let me read this. Yeah, but what the f do you can't put people on here race hustling, poverty pimping, and say some shit about high schools that's where black college and millions every year. Well, I don't understand. Again, I don't understand your comment. You folks over there in vertical, I guess you only get a certain amount of characters to type in. So again, I'm going to take for granted what you're saying is because I mentioned the fact that some of the historical high schools are no longer in existence. You took offense to that. I don't know. No, of course, I'm focusing on good history there. Fubu Low. I talk about good history all the time. Talking about bad history, it's what gets people upset. If I was on here praising Trump, you think these folks would be in here calling me out my name? You think they would be in here saying I'm race hustling or trying to get some super chats? You think folks would be saying that if I was in here? They would be donating willingly. I guarantee if I was up here saying something positive about Trump, they'd have been donating. Ching, 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 ching. That's a good guy right there. He one of the good ones, see? But since I'm out here trying to talk about the ills of the United States of America and the slavery that they bestowed on black folks, all of a sudden, I shouldn't be talking about history. It shouldn't make sense. We should leave that alone. Well, tell the Jewish folks that. Tell the folks that still attached, that their families are still attached to the Japanese internment camps. Tell them that. Tell the Latino community that some of their families been locked up in cages for months and years or being deported without due process. Tell them that they should get over that too. I don't, Teresa, again, I don't know what you're saying. So maybe you should just go ahead and stop typing until I can understand what you're saying. Let me see, dude, don't know. See, look, let's read this, folks, and let's see if it makes sense to y'all. Maybe I'm reading it wrong or something like that. Dude, I don't know. I guess there's supposed to be a you in there. So I don't, I'm trying to read it right. Dude, I don't know. So do you know you come up on my shit? Like I said, do you stop being so offended by strangers in the chat? I'm offended by this shit I got to read. That's what I'm offended by. You coming there trying to chastise me and typing on the infant level. The fuck? And then when you use some superlatives, you come in there screaming, just called an opinion, dumbass. No, it's not called an opinion if I can't read it. That's called gibberish. That's called idle chatter. No, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I think I already think I know who you are already. So I'm just gonna do this. Bye. Get the fuck on. Get up out of here. Bye. Just leave. Just go. Bye. Damn. Damn. Flies and niggas and flies. No matter where they land at, they always shitting on something.
To learn to read or write. My great-grandfather learned to read while he was enslaved. He could have risked his life, could have lost his life. But after emancipation, my great-grandfather would read the newspaper to formerly enslaved people who didn't know how to read. And my grandmother loved the fact that her father knew how to read, and she told me that when he would start reading, she would wrap her arms around his leg. I said, Mama, why'd you do that? And she said, well, I just love the fact that he knew how to read, and I wanted to learn to read. And she said, I thought you learned how to read by touching somebody while they read. And he figured out, no, that's not how you learn to read, Victoria. And he taught her to be a reader. And my grandmother worked as a domestic her whole life, but she was someone who believed in the power of words and education, information. She would have loved you and what you do. And when I would go visit my grandmother, sometimes she would come out and she would stand on the porch and she'd have a stack of books and she'd make you read something before she would let you into that house. As I said, I grew up in a poor, racially segregated community. I wasn't related to a lawyer, never met a lawyer, but my mom went into debt when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and she bought us the World Book Encyclopedia.
How many of y'all folks remember that? If you were a product of the 60s, 70s, and possibly the 80s, you know that's where your majority of your education came from. That World Book Encyclopedia, you know what I mean. Damn it. World Book Encyclopedias. Y'all know what I mean? All 26 volumes plus the unabridged dictionary. I remember my mother and my pops telling us, asked the question, I spent a whole lot of money on them books. Don't ask me, ask that book. Ask that book. You had the Encyclopedia Britannica there, logical assessment. Shout out to you. Wow. It's 1K, Candy Cane, the purchase encyclopedias today. Sure did. I remember the colors of it. It was like a beige color, and it had the green backing on it. Do remember the World Book encyclopedias quite well because I went through every volume of them. Look it up. I'm not going to tell you, look it up. And then once you look it up, come back and tell me what it means. And we're going to see if you're right. That means you're not going, my mom just said, you're not going to ask me a question and then walk away from it because you don't feel like going to get the answer. Go get the answer and bring it back to me. That way I knew that you got the answer to the question. How you spell it? I don't know. Go figure it out. I remember being in the third or fourth grade. And there was a word that one of the teachers, I forgot which class I was in, but it probably was health class. And they were going, I'm sure it was in health class. And they were going through the parts of the body. And they got to this thing, the larynx. No one in the class knew how to pronounce that word at that time. So that was part of our homework, to go home and try and figure out how to pronounce that word. So when I got home and I asked my mom, how do I pronounce this word? She said, I'm not going to tell you. Figure it out. Now, if you just look at the spelling of larynx to a young child or someone who don't know that these letters are arranged in a certain way, that just looked like a bunch of gibberish to you. But I finally figured it out. Sure did. All because my mother said, I'm not going to tell you. Go to that dictionary, go to the World Book encyclopedias. Free your mind and your ass will follow.
Encyclopedia, and we had those books in our house. And I told my classmates, I said, I'm not related to a lawyer. I've never even met a lawyer, but I read all about the lawyers. And, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't always appreciate that because Christmas comes along, you're 10 years old, and you go outside, and your friends are like, well, I got a basketball, I got a bicycle, I got a baseball. And I'd have to say, well, I got volume G of the World Book Encyclopedia.
I got a rock.
But I think about that now, and I thought about that then, and what
I got a bag of oranges.
I realized when I was a student is that I was not...
I got some socks. Damn it.
Of racial hierarchy and white supremacy who've tried to adopt mindsets that honor that are people who can't really claim the greatness that I think is key to our future in the United States.
Your great-grandfather was a slave?
Grandfather. And so I did. I went back and I found some of the students and I told them that my great-grandfather was enslaved in Caroline County, Virginia. And even though it was against the law for enslaved people to learn to read or write, my great-grandfather learned to read while he was enslaved. He could have risked his...
And that's the thing I meant about Frederick Douglass. He was putting his life on the line. Well, you see, that's the problem of Blackport. Sometimes Blackport or whatever. Sometimes education is boring. What should he be doing to pique your interest? How should he be speaking to you for you to gather this information? So boring in what aspect? Actually, I'm rather intrigued. I'm eating this up. I don't find this boring at all. I'm eating this up. But, you know, to each his own, sir.
His life, could have lost his life. But after emancipation, my great-grandfather would read the newspaper to formerly enslaved people who didn't know how to read. And my grandmother loved the fact that her father knew how to read, and she told me that when he would start reading, she would wrap her arms around his leg. And I said, Mama, why'd you do that? And she said, well, I just love the fact that he knew how to read, and I wanted to learn to read. And she said, I thought you learned how to read by...
I appreciate that, Black. I appreciate that something I said or something that I did might have piqued your interest. I appreciate that. That's probably one of the honest and realest comments that I've gotten at any time since I've been doing this. You piqued my interest.
And I'd have to say, well, I got volume G of the World Book Encyclopedia. But I think about that now, and I thought about that then, and what I realized when I was a student is that I was not less than any of the other students. I wasn't diminished by my not having relations that were lawyers. I, in fact, began to feel lifted up by that. And that's the power of this history. I talk about my great-grandfather all the time now. I talk about my grandparents all the time because I know that I'm being lifted up by millions of people who had dreams of freedom, who had aspirations for something better. And I feel that. I do. I feel that in my work. When we put together our exhibit, when we put together this content, I constantly feel like we are being witnessed, watched by all of those who were subjected to the immense suffering and constant sorrow of enslavement. When we built our national memorial, I felt like we were being observed by the souls and spirits of all of those people who lost their lives in such darkness and such anonymity. And that
there's a major highway here in it comes from some parts of Charleston all the way up to Ashley River and all these different places. It's called Highway 61. And they say the souls of the enslaved people still travel on Highway 61. Some people, if you believe in ghosts, some people even said that they see ghosts on Highway 61. Some strange phenomenon has happened on Highway 61. It's full of poplar trees. It's full of old oak trees. See what I'm saying? Highway 61 has nothing but plantations on it. It has Ashley Plantation, Boone Hall Plantation, Drayton Plantation.
That's the way I feel today. I feel like I want to represent the 10 million black people who were enslaved for 246 years when our government begins to try to eliminate their history, their stories from our cultural museums. I want to advocate for those who were terrorized by terror violence. I want to represent the millions who had to deal with the humiliation of segregation and racial humiliation that was so much a part of our history in the United States when people try to tell us that's not the important stuff, that's not the stuff you should be reading.
So talk about these 4 sites that you have, and talk about the significance of it being in Montgomery, why you chose to settle there, the cradle of the Confederacy, the names of the schools.
No, you're absolutely right. Montgomery has prided itself on being the heart of Dixie, the cradle of the Confederacy. When I moved there in the 80s, 59 monuments and memorials to the Confederacy spread around the city. Those still...
Just think about that. In the cradle of the civil rights movement, there's still, to this day, at least 59 memorials that's standing to the Confederacy. Just think about that. Same thing here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's 60-something. Not to mention there's towns here that's named after slaveholders. The town that I know that some of my folks came from, Ladson. Ladson is the last name of a slaveholder that was here in South Carolina. If your name is Drayton, if your surname is Drayton, chances are your ancestors were enslaved on Drayton Plantation.
Exist. Our 3 largest high schools until very recently were named Jefferson Davis High, Robert E. Lee High, and Sidney Lanier High, Confederate General. Those schools are 97, 98% black because they're public schools. And when I moved there, you couldn't find the word slave, slavery, or enslavement anywhere in the public landscape. And this is a majority black city.
First time I got kicked out of school was challenging my social studies teacher. They was reading something about the Africans, and she let up. I'll even say her name right now. Miss Crosby read out loud to the class, "Those African niggers. Those African niggers." Hold up, Miss Crosby. They didn't say that in that book. Go to the office for interrupting the class. No, ma'am. And literally, she sent me to the office. The principal wanted to paddle me because corporal punishment was still available back then. This was one time I stood my ground and said, before I bend over, you got to call my parents. Because all I did was correct her. Nowhere in that book does it say nigger. I got suspended for 3 days, but I stood my ground.
So for me, it has been really important to create this new era of truth and justice, truth and reconciliation, truth and repair, truth and restoration in a place that has historically been unwilling to be honest about this history. And we opened the Legacy Museum from Enslavement to Mass Incarceration, which just makes a presentation about not just the horrors of slavery, but the way it evolved. And I continue to believe that the great evil of slavery in the United States wasn't the brutality and the violence, that was horrific, but it was the narrative we created to justify enslavement. The enduring evil of slavery was the narrative, because people who enslaved other people didn't think of themselves as immoral or indecent or unchristian. And how do you think of yourself as decent when you are pulling away a mother from her screaming children, knowing that mother will never see those
Cognitive dissonance is what it's called. They have a term for it.
children again? Well, you need a narrative. And so we created a false narrative in America where we said that black people are not as good as white people. Black people are less capable, less evolved, less human. And that narrative survived the Civil War. In fact, I often argue that the North won the Civil War, but the South won the narrative war.
Nope.
And even many abolitionists in the United States, they didn't believe in slavery, but they also did not believe in racial equality.
No, logical assessment, I surely didn't. I surely didn't. The only thing my parents said to me is sometimes although I know you was wrong, you still got to respect your elders. The teacher's there to teach. I'm saying that this was the point. I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not a lesson I wanted to learn. So no, I didn't get in any trouble for that as far as home, but I did have to spend 3 days out of school reading them damn World Book encyclopedias. So I guess if that was at that time, I thought that might have been a form of punishment, but hey, yeah.
And so Reconstruction collapses. Our court prioritizes the interest of these former enslavers over the emancipated, formerly enslaved. And we tolerated decades of mob violence, mobs going to jails, pulling people out of jails and torturing them, sometimes on the courthouse lawn. We tolerated.
So somebody going to tell me that Tasha K didn't know all of this? That Tasha K was not aware of all of this, and she did not think that she was not going to get a pushback for what she said? See, there's a ways to tell people how wrong they were without screaming and yelling and cursing them out. Tasha K, maybe Information Man, maybe other folks that took on this particular topic about you. Maybe you should have done your homework. Yeah, I know. Let that make sense. 3 days out of school as a young kid. Ooh, what's that the Brer Rabbit talking about? No, please don't throw me in that briar patch. Hell, I was born and raised in the briar patch. 3 days out of school, no school. What?
That Congress did not respond. And then we codified racial segregation, this racial order in the law until my lifetime, many of our lifetimes. And so you can't understand that without understanding this enduring narrative. And we continue to face racial bias because that presumption of dangerousness and guilt is still with us. That's why I was pulled out of my car in Atlanta. That's why I still have to confront these things. And so we're trying with our sites to engage people. So the Legacy Museum presents that content. The National Memorial for Peace and Justice documents all of the terror violence, all of the thousands of lynchings that we've been able to identify across this country, and we have monuments for every county, and we name the people, many of whom have never been named before. Most Americans can't name a single black person who was lynched between 1877 and 1950.
You've named over 100.
I don't know about 1950, but I can tell you about the early, the 70s. I can name that person. His name is Carl Williams. That's lived with me my entire life from child on to now. You never forget your first experience with death or hearing about death when it affects you. Maybe that's why it sticks with me. Or maybe it was the friendship. I don't know. But if you ever bring this exhibit to Charleston, South Carolina, make sure you put my friend's name on that exhibit, because we all know that's what happened to him. Let me read this comment right here. It says, Nana, I don't know, Nadosho. I guess I don't know how to say your name. I apologize, man. But the black person escaped a plantation, earns employment at the northern states. He would pay a free black to purchase his family that would make the free black a slave owner. Simply play on words. Well, you can cherry pick anything that you want to. And I find a lot of people do that. A lot of people, to solidify or to try to make a comparison, they will go and pull out the few instances of black people purchasing other black people. But for the most part, when other black folks purchased black folks, it was not to keep them in bondage. It was to show that somebody owned them. Usually those papers that they had, it was as a white person owned them. But the black person put up the money. But it wasn't like that you could go up north, escape from down south and go up north and accumulate all this wealth that you could buy your family out of bondage. I don't know where you folks get that idea from, that if all these millions and millions of people escaped the South, went up north because racism and segregation and shit was just as bad up north as it was down south. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of Northern sympathizers that realized that, hey, if you pay me, if I see one in my yard, I'll send him back to you. But you guys want to bring up the instances of black people purchasing slaves, or the instance of the black man that took the United States to court because he was following the law. The law says at that point in time, if I paid money for you, I owned you. Simple as that. But y'all will point out those few instances to try and overshadow the entire history of chattel slavery in the United States by saying, well, black folks bought black people too. Okay. You want to put that as a footnote? Okay. You want to put that as a footnote?
100,000?
Yes, thousands of people whose names are in the memorial. And we now have a project where we're inviting communities to put up markers that allow local members of a community to reckon with these histories.
And you have these bottles of dirt,
yes.
And I saw a replica here.
Yes. We ask community groups that are often multiracial, multi-generational, to dig soil at the spot of the lynching. We put them in the jars that have the names and the victims, and you can see those jars in our museum in Montgomery and on display here in Edinburgh. And the National Memorial.
Black, I got to ask you, because what's boring about that, man? What's boring about somebody that you knew or somebody that lost their life due to lynching is finally getting recognition over 100 years? What's boring about what this black man is doing? What's boring about that? What's boring about telling and preserving the history of us? What's boring about that?
It represents this ongoing effort to create a great awareness about lynching. We want to put up a marker at every lynching site in the United States so that we don't forget, that we make that commitment of never again in the context of our own struggle. Freedom Monument Sculpture Park is a 17-acre space that we've built to dig deeply into the horrors of slavery, but also into the bigger meaning of what it took to survive, to endure. We have a boat that will take you there across the Alabama River, a river that trafficked thousands of people. And you'll see holding pens, you'll see representations of art and sculpture that model the labor of cotton fields and things like that. We have actual dwellings from plantations that were about to be destroyed, and we brought them on our site. But the other thing we do at Freedom Monument Sculpture Park is talk about the strength and the character and the resilience of enslaved people. This is the other thing that I just think most people haven't appreciated. It would have been so easy if you were an enslaved woman and you'd been raped or you'd been violated or you just gave birth to a child, to not want to love your child. Half of all enslaved people were separated from their children and their siblings and their parents. And it would be very tempting to say, I can't give my...
You see that picture right there, folks? Minus the sculptures, the statues that there of the enslaved Africans, or the enslaved people. This is what you would have seen if you lived in Charleston, South Carolina, and if you lived on Highway 61 in Charleston, South Carolina, at that point in time. This is what you would have seen. You would have seen these slave houses, because this is wintertime here. So this is what Highway 61 and all those plantations would have looked like, because they're surrounded by these trees just like that. And if you go to Ashley Plantation or Boone Hall Plantation, you will see replicas. These aren't replicas. These were slave quarters that were preserved, that were built with railroad cross tires and different things like that, that last forever. This is right here in South Carolina. This actual picture here probably exists somewhere on Highway 61.
Heart to this child, because I know that child's going to be taken away from me. But most enslaved women did the opposite. They loved even harder because they didn't know. And the ability of enslaved people to love in the midst of agony is part of the legacy that I have inherited, that those are who are descendants of enslaved people. And I want us to appreciate their strength, their resilience, their character, their resolve. One of the exhibits we have in the museum and at the sculpture park are the ads that formerly enslaved people took out as soon as they were emancipated. Many people spent their last nickels and dimes placing ads in newspapers, looking for their children, looking for their siblings, looking for their parents. And it speaks to their love of one another. And that is also part of it. And so we end the Freedom Monument Sculpture Park experience with the National Monument to Freedom. It's this 40.
Okay, let me answer this. Kelly Furman, you say this: as South African, we're not the same as Eastern Western Africans. Sorry, genetically, we're very diverse. Okay, sorry. Well, genetically, is that what you mean? Well, genetically, we all say is pretty much the same. It only comes down to the matter of the region and the color that we are, that those are the distinct distinct differences between human beings. African Americans have a certain hue to them. Asian Americans have a certain hue to them. Chinese Americans have a certain hue to them. I would imagine the same thing goes in South African. Certain South Africans have a certain hue to them, but it comes down to we all share the same, what's that, 23andMe chromosomes or something like that. We all have that same thing. We all share that same. This is part of the conversation that we had yesterday. We all originated from the same place, Kelly. So what's genetically different about you and a Western and Eastern South African other than your skin color? Or your social or economic or financial beliefs? What's genetically different about you? I'll wait for your answer.
3-foot tall, 150-foot wide, massive monument where we've taken the names of all 4 million emancipated Black people listed in the 1870 census, which was the first time Black people in this country could claim.
How many did y'all know that? That was the first time black people were actually counted. And there was 4 million, so they say.
A surname that would be recognized by the government. And we have all of those names on the monument, and I see families come and people come and they find their family name and they put flowers in a little water, and it's emotional and it's intense, but it's joyous to connect with that legacy. And even though I was working on it for months and knew everything that we were doing, when they put up the panel that had my family name, I couldn't help but also shed a few tears, because it made me appreciate the struggle, the sacrifice, the work that others have done before me to create the moment that I'm in.
We're talking to Bryan Stevenson, founder and executive director of the Equal Justice Initiative. We'll be back with him in a minute here in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, there's probably about another good 10 minutes left to this. And I'll put the link, I already put the link to the description down there. You can go and check out the book itself and the legacy of what this man is trying to do here. Again, I hope he brings this exhibit or creates an exhibit here in Charleston, South Carolina. So a lot of us, because let's face it, a lot of us that live in this area, we are, as they call us, ADOS, American descendants of slavery. I know I am. And for the longest time, I think me and my siblings and our cousins and all that was a stigma between us. We thought that was something that we shouldn't talk about, that we should be shunned. That we when you go into your history class and you see an obvious idea of something being left out, even though you know what it is, you dare not speak of it. Wait a minute. From what I'm hearing, slavery was all we know is Martin Luther King. Why y'all trying to convince me that Malcolm X is a bad guy? Why y'all trying to convince me that the folks over in Oakland that started the very model of what we're doing now, the free lunch programs and all that? Why y'all trying to convince us at an early age that these people were, like J. Edgar Hoover said, the worst thing that could ever happen to America? And then you'll tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. That forget about slavery. We didn't live back in that time. Y'all don't live in that time. None of our ancestors, none of the people living today were slaves. But a lot of y'all still profit off what you have. A lot of y'all's family wealth came from slaves. Okay, Kelly, you said means that dark-skinned people living in different regions of Africa can be more genetically different from each other than white Europeans. Well, let me ask you this: what can't a white European make, Kelly? If 2 white Europeans got together, what could they not make? Could make a black man, could they? Now, if we look at what we believe to be the starting place of all men, we cannot argue the fact that the original man was of darker hue, just based in the region, the South and the African region, in the African continent. Now, if we believe in the Great Migration, if you believe in all of that goodness and all that, you will know the farther you got from the equator, the less your skin had to be protected from the sun. So those, as in Dr. Claude Anderson said, those who could lose their melanin survived. Those who couldn't perished. So you as a bright-skinned South African or a genetic anomaly. But you still have the same properties of every other person on this planet. And I mean, properties may not be the best word to use, but we're all built from the same frame. We all come, all the internal parts of us are all the same. They might be different in size, but we all have one heart. We all have two kidneys. Well, some of us. We all start out with the same parts. We all bleed red when we get cut. The only thing different about us that's notable is our hair, our eye color, and our skin color. And that happened simply because of the Great Migration. The farther away that you moved away from the equator, Kelly, the less you need that dark skin. The colder climate that you got, the more hair that you needed, Kelly. So hence, that's why a lot of white folks are more hairier than black people. This is not me talking. This is science. I got that out that World Book Encyclopedia, by the way. But from there, folks, we're going to go on to a little bit of fuckery. Yeah, it seems like, what would a Saturday be on the YouTube streets without a little bit of fuckery? Huh? So, listen, AI is a big thing now. AI is everywhere. And for all these, for all you would-be brand new artists who 3 years ago never wrote a song, now but just because you found the AI, whatchamacallit, and you gave it a prompt, Izzy Bands, Drip, and a few of your other ones, you're not artists. You're creating something from prompts. Just like with me, I use AI. I use AI to, number one, because it saves me money. How? Well, how does it save me money? When you run a radio station, you have to do ads. You have to do voiceovers. So say if I needed a voiceover right now, I would have to go pay somebody at the minimum at least $35. And that's for 8 words, 9, 10 words. They sell by the word. Or I could go and pay for a service that's $29 a month, $30 a month, and make as many sweepers or drops for the radio station using several different voices from all parts of the world. What would be more feasible for me? Or if I wanted to create a song, I am in that business. But you got these folks now because they're on a platform, of YouTube platform, and it's fashionable now to create an intro. Y'all done went from intros to damn near putting on AI concerts. So Jay Prince, as y'all call him, Jay Piss, and Izzy Bands had a conversation about AI. And for once, I got to say, folks, I agree with the mudfish. So let me get this off the screen here. Yeah, for once, I agree with the mudfish. As I affectionately, and y'all affectionately know him as Jay Prince. Where's it at? There we go. Let me get that off the screen here.
Especially this Blanco.
Again, shout out Pop Out TV.
Would you rap your own diss tracks?
Why would I?
Yes, I would.
Hold on, you would, but why would I? I don't have no studio. I don't have no way to no studio. So, yo, what you're saying is fairly arbitrary. It doesn't even make sense, bro.
Own diss track. You don't even, bro, you don't have no type of beats to it or nothing. First you said that you only did the beats off AI. Now you saying that you wrote the lyrics and you said
you don't listen at all. They like
my
butter,
teeth is
baby.
real. That's fake white.
Your teeth is butter, baby. It's real buttery.
All I need is peroxide and baking soda.
Right now, yeah, he crabs in a bucket. If someone pay me right now, I'll make your song. Matter of fact, I should make Jay Stevens song right now. I'll write it right now. It's not. Trust me. Trust me. Jay Piss.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jealousy is a sin.
Say, Blanco, if you wrote a song, let's say it was a hit song, would you want AI to rap it for you, or you gonna rap it?
Are you?
I would want to rap it. I don't really like the AI music
If
thing,
you're a
bro. It takes
rapper
away.
and you
It
get
takes away from
trophies
the
from rapping,
from the people that is like rapping for real.
if you're a rapper and you getting trophies for rapping and you futtered one of the first people that's rapping your family, wouldn't you be rapping your own lyrics?
No, because I'm
especially
not.
It's Blanco. Would you rap your own diss tracks?
Why would I?
Yes, I would.
Hold on, you would, but why would I? I don't have no studio. I don't have no way to no studio. So, yo, what you're saying is really arbitrary. It doesn't even make sense.
No, it does make plenty of sense. You don't have a studio. If you don't have a studio, that means you don't have the means to create real music. You are going onto a site somewhere. It could be Sono. It could be any of these other sites that allow you to create music through a prompt. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It absolutely is not. I'm privy to a site right now. I guarantee you, if I played a song, y'all could not tell me that it's AI. There's absolutely no way that you can tell me that this song that I created is AI. But let Izzy Bands tell it. Now, I know a lot of y'all know Izzy. When, until this AI or putting music in front of your live streams or creating money, when have y'all ever known Izzy Bands to be a ghostwriter? When have y'all ever known Izzy Bands to ever even be in the music industry, period? Like I told Drip on this platform that day, man, you dragging these folks into dangerous waters. Some of these niggas gonna get a hold of their shit and it's gonna turn them. They're gonna make them think that they artists. And sure enough, because I think this is where all this really came from. Drip. No disrespect to Drip when I say that, because hey man, you found something that worked for you, and you folks, there was a demand for it. I don't know why you let the cat out the bag. You let these niggas run on your hustle.
Bro, at the end of the day, imagine me trying to be a 50-year-old rapper. Like, I'm not trying to be no 50-year-old rapper, bro. I got the talent to write songs, and my penmanship is like that. And they got programs where I can add my pen to their program and make a dope song, and it's all good. That's it. That's all. Shout out to my people's Jay Stevens said, play that money on my mind, fam. Yeah, I got you, bro. I got that money on my mind for you, Jay Stevens. Thank you so much, Jay Stevens, sponsor of the show. Want that money on my mind, man. Let me give him.
ABC, look here, don't start with me. Let me go. Hold on. Let me drop the link, folks, for anyone that wants to come up here. Please be respectful. I know it's going to be hard to be respectful, but listen here. We only need to talk about what's on the screen. He said, Ghostwriter, this is real as chickens. Here we go. Let me put this in here. Anybody want to come up a little bit later on and join on? Let me put this in the chat. I don't know how to pin it there, folks. So there it is right there. That's the StreamYard link. If you want to come on up and join part of the fuckery brigade right about now, because that's what we're going to do for the next maybe hour or so. Just do a little YouTube fuckery. But this seems to be funny to me. Again, Pop Out TV, and it's right up the alley what I'm talking about, because if you folks listened to the stream yesterday with the young lady, Monique Danielle, she we were talking about the AI. So here we go.
Give them the regular version.
And this will separate me from y'all. I got true talent.
You ain't got no talent. You can't do.
I got my own talent. I don't need AI.
Your talent is to crash out and to be a crash dummy. That's your talent.
Well, that's what you believe. Well,
to crash out and be a crash dummy is your talent.
I'm better than you.
Yeah, you wish.
At least my teeth is real.
They yellow. They like butter, baby. They like
my
butter,
teeth is
baby.
real. That's fake white.
Your teeth is butter, baby. It's real buttery.
All I need is peroxide and baking soda.
No, you need more than that. You need some.
I bought some peroxide yesterday.
You need some braces.
Baking soda yesterday.
You need to buy some braces too. And you really need to cut off your head while you at it. Cause goddamn,
dog. Come on, man.
But in the kind of business, this nigga got a channel, you know what I mean? So he implemented the technology to entertain the people. Like I say, I don't see nothing wrong with that, bro. I just don't see nothing wrong with that.
You trying to perpetrate as if that's your shit instead of admitting, okay, yeah, this AI, so what?
And again, you even the sunshine on a dog ass, he hold it up high enough. So you got to say Jay Prince is right. There's a big difference between, listen, we all create things with the computer. And this is the technology, so there's no getting away from AI. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, folks, I found this AI thing that allows me to create music. I think it's dope. We'll take a listen to it. Listen, there's folks that's actually on the Billboard charts that are AI artists. And what Izzy's saying is not wrong. But in this case, Izzy, we know you ain't no ghostwriter. Casper, they call you Casper, not the friendly ghost, but the lion ghost, because you is not no ghostwriter. No, sir. Never before in the history of Izzy Bands have we heard him talking about music until things like Sono and things like that started popping up. Y'all tell me I'm wrong. But I agree with Jay Prince with this right now. If you're going to create AI music, yeah, go ahead and tell folks. Yeah, he said he ain't got no ride to the studio. See, person don't come in and start that. You just drop out the clouds and give me a hi, a hello, or nothing. You just came in here shooting. Oh, I'm just kidding. They're shooting. Here we go.
I would have took it more like him being solid if he said that. He's trying to make pretend like he got some talent yesterday.
You want me to lie? You so stupid. You want me to lie? You said I wrote the shit. I told you it's a program. It's not Suno, but I wrote the shit. It's not Suno. I don't have Suno, but I wrote that shit. What do you want from me?
You gave them certain prompts to prop up everything that people been saying about me and turn it into a diss track, and they just AI put all the shit together and made the beats. Okay. That's not even you rapping it.
Okay, so you do it. If you do it, I'm
not the one that's trying to perpetrate
No. This is why I have it. What I want you to do is I want you to do it. I want you to get a program. You just go ahead and put talking points into a prompt and see what type of song you're gonna get.
Man,
like LA Project said, that's too specific. It is. I wrote it specifically targeted towards you. I wrote it for
She got
you.
to be the most retarded woman on the planet.
See that? But listen here, Izzy. Listen to this, sir. Listen to this. Now, if you didn't know better, you would think you were listening to Boney James right now, wouldn't you? Because I went into one of those things that you use. I typed in a few prompts. I typed in a few things, and this is what it produced for me. Now, I don't have to go out and pay somebody for a backing track. I now can use that backing track, and I don't have to worry about YouTube saying, we can't monetize this video because you're using somebody else's music. So what you do, Izzy, is once you create something that you think that's good, and you think it's marketable, you go and copyright it. That's what you do. You don't say, hey, give me $50, I'll create a song for you. I ain't doing it in less than 3 minutes because I got them ghostwriting skills. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be back with a brand new track. 18 with a bullet. Got my finger on the trigger and I'm going to pull it. Pull it. Pull it.
Watch the R word. You slow. Shout out to Child Foundation. Eddie, make one for JP's channel. If he pay me, I will. I can.
Let's do it. Do it live.
Pay me and I will.
Let's see how you do it live.
Someone.
How much you gonna charge?
Hold on, real quick. I got you. If someone pay me $50 right now, I'll make an introduction song for J Prince's channel right now. I'll write the lyrics right now, and I'll show you the lyrics, and then I'll put it into my drum.
How much for just 5 lyrics? I sure love music. How much is it? There go the link right there, Prism. If you want to come up, you got some conversation that you want to add to this AI conversation. She sees let me up there. Let me show them what I'm talking about. All right, come on up there, Prism. There go the link right there. Yeah, that's smooth jazz right there. I to be quite honest with you, ABT. The program that I'm using, I'm not gonna give it out. I'm gonna keep it for myself. I'm gonna be selfish on this one. I'm gonna be selfish on it. But when I'm gonna create an album, it's gonna be DJ Music's greatest hits. The album. We're gonna have some smooth jazz. We're gonna have some R&B. We're gonna have some bucket naked music. Yeah. Do a couple intros. What's up there, Black and Proud? How you living, good brother? And if any of you folks want to come up here and join the festivities, come on up.
Hold on. When I get to work, I'm finna send that 50 right now. We want to see you go live and do it. Every step.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Why she gonna say AI? Generate these type of clips and turn it to this song about J Prince.
Promise. Listen, if I have to do that, then I will send you your 50 back. I'll be right here. I type it on my phone.
Go tell Hamburger Man what's going on.
Hold on, real quick. This don't got nothing. Why are you enlisting someone else? If someone paid me $50 right now, y'all only got about 18 minutes.
Y'all only got 18 minutes to throw that man $50 so he can create a masterpiece for y'all. Hey, welcome to the stage there, The Real Prism. How you doing? Thank you for coming in, dropping in. What you got for me? What you got for me?
That was so funny. I want you to hear something really quick. I'm gonna play one of the ones that I was telling you about. Remember?
Go right ahead.
Let me know if you can hear it. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Let's see. I'm trying to find the one that you and I were talking about. Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
So we're gonna do let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear this? Hold on.
No, if you're playing something, I can't hear it, Prism.
Okay, hang on. I'm trying to figure out how to share it so you can hear it. Give me 1 second.
All right.
Do me a favor. Put your screen up for me so nobody can see what they can hear.
All right. I was about to say that. Let me put the screen up. That way, if you wanted me to show something, I could cover the screen.
Yep. So hang on. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, let me know if you can hear this song by the late Aretha Franklin. Hold on.
Says add to. Nope. I want to let me add before presenting screen. Remove the.
You
Oh,
can't
it
hear?
won't. It won't. But it won't. Hold on, just a second. Let me take it down. For some reason, or the other, it says before adding, I'd have to take something down. So let me try this one.
Okay.
No. Try and share it with me again.
Okay, hang on. Can you see?
Before presenting on screen, remove the media stream. So it won't show on the screen. If I cover the screen, it won't allow me to add it to the screen. That's the message that I'm getting. Yeah.
Let me see. Well, then I'm not sure how we're gonna do it. So
Yeah. Without, I think what you're trying to do is protect where what you're doing here. And not you don't want to see that. You don't want folks to see that. Correct.
no, I don't really want them to see
Right.
the graphics and stuff and other things that I do have that is copyrighted. So no, I don't.
Right. Well, I don't know.
It's not essential.
Right. Okay. But I get what you're saying though. I mean, we did have we're privy to some AI music and some conversation that we had, and we was experimented with it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what brought this conversation up here. To be quite honest with you, this business of all these content creators thinking that they're artists. You're not artists, folks. It's a
Now,
little bit more to it. Go ahead, Prism.
I think I have. Let me see if you can hear this one because I think I did one in FL Studios.
Uh huh.
So let me see if I can. Oh, let me think. Hang on a second. Let me see. Go ahead and talk. Don't do dead air. Just go ahead and talk while I look for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was looking for something too. So, folks, let me give you an idea of why I use AI. Okay.
Yeah. CRBJ Radio, Sunday night. You already know. Denise Gray, say it loud. The Music Cafe. DJ Stevie in the building. Let's play. Wake up the block, turn it loud to the right. CRBJ blowing through the city lights, say it loud. Every Sunday 8 on the dot. Music Cafe banging from the parking lot. Yeah, wake up the block, turn the dial to the right. The night's gray holding down the mic. Sunday came slow, work week felt long. Now the bass line knocking. This is where we belong. Old school joints and the brand new vibes. DJ Stevie cutting records while the people arrive. Phone lines light up, requests on deck. From the 90s classics to the current flex. 8 o'clock sharp, no delay, no pause. This is real hip hop, no applause, just because. So if you're riding in your whip or chilling at the crib, turn it up a little bit, that's all you gotta give. Wake up the block, turn it down to the right. CRBJ blowing through the city lights, say it loud. Every Sunday 8 on the dot. Music cafe, banging from the parking lot. Yeah, wake up the block. Turn the dial to the right. The nice gray hole and dynamite. From the golden era to tomorrow's sound. This is where the real hip hop is found. The nights on the mic, Stevie on the wax. Every Sunday night, we're bringing it back. Tracks from the crates, hits from the vault. Stories in rhythm, that's what makes it all. Old heads nod, new heads catch the vibe. Music cafe where the culture resides. No filler, no fronting, just the raw and real. This is what the radio is made to feel. So tell your people, spread it through the street. Sunday at 8, don't you miss the beat. Whether 808s or a dusty sample flip, we keep the turntables on that fingertip. Wake up the block, turn the dial to the right. CRBJ blowing through the city lights, say it loud. Every Sunday 8 on the dot. Music cafe banging from the parking lot. Yeah, wake up the block, turn the.
So Izzy, did that make me a ghostwriter? Because yeah, I did write those. I guess I won't really call them lyrics, but I wrote that in the prompt. This is what I want the thing to say. This is the style of and the era that I want it in. But does that make me a ghostwriter, y'all? Or that just does that make me just perfect my craft at what I'm doing? Or does that make me save some money? You know how much that would have cost me to go out and hire a professional to do just that? That's a $300 job right there. But no edits. That's $300. No way around it. And I don't. Sometimes you don't even own the rights to it. Yeah, Mike, you got to get with the program. You got to find new ways to. You got to find ways to save money and all these different things. Again, so the fact that Izzy and the crew over there talking about he found some newfound wealth. No, sir. You can't call yourself an artist and tell them about you going to create something for $50 and sell it to somebody. Yeah, it got that 90s kind of feel to it. That's exactly what I actually wanted that. If you listen to it, Mike, who's that? You hear that, what's his name? The guy that sings Gangsta Paradise, Coolio. That's one of the names that I put in the prompt. So you can pretty much hear the listen. Tell me you don't hear Coolio's voice here.
Sunday at 8, don't you miss the beat. Whether 808s or a dusty sample flip, we keep the turntables on that fingertip. Wake up the block, turn the dial to the right. CRBJ blowing through the city lights, say it loud. Every Sunday 8 on the dot. Music cafe banging from the parking lot.
Tell me that don't remind you a little bit of your boy right there. So Izzy, you can put all this that you wanted. So Jay Prince was right about what he said about you. And it did not, to be quite honest with you folks, once I wrote it down, once I wrote what I wanted the drop to say, it didn't take them very long to create it. I made this a couple days ago, Sock Passe. A couple days ago, I created this song with I don't want the AI thing that I'm using is so good. I don't want to share it. To be quite honest with you, I'll let people stumble on themselves. But I have big plans to use it. It's not that when I do come out the box with what I'm doing, you know, it's going to be something that expected because of the field that I'm in. I'm in radio. I'm not going to be trying to trick people like Izzy, trying to tell people I'm this world famous ghostwriter, because I already got a song on the charts. Where I think my first song hit the charts, the smooth jazz charts. It stayed on there for about a week. Shout out to Yvonne J. So it wouldn't be a far fetch for me to create jazz or smooth jazz songs. And also with the AI that you can actually give AI a voice prompt of your voice, and they can incorporate your voice into the song. But we're gonna listen to a little bit more here.
Yeah, wake up the block, turn the dial to the right. The nice gray hole and dynamite tight. CRBJ, say it loud.
Yeah, that's Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, folks. I play music from the decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and, of course, some great music from today. If you was over yesterday listening to the live stream that I had with lovely Monique Danielle, we'll be featuring her music this Sunday night. Again, Prism, are you around? You find it? But let's play a little bit more. Go ahead. You find what you wanted me to hear?
No, I didn't. But what I think I'm going to do is some of the ones I'll let you listen to because, of course, I can't copyright the one with Aretha Franklin's voice. So
right, no, you can't do that. Mm-mm.
But it was interesting that I could program her voice in. So, but that sound that you're playing, it kind of has like a hodgepodge of kind of like, I guess, old school hip hop.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out like where the sound was coming from. It sounds real similar. But I just can't think of the
Run DMC and Eric B and Rakim. Those are the names of that type thing.
Yeah, that sounds like about that type of sound. Like I would definitely lean heavier on because I know my brothers, like they listen to a lot of that stuff. So it definitely sounds a little bit more further to the Eric B and Rakim.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely does, because that's the when I was typing the prompts in and all that, that's what I wanted to sound like. And of course, it gives you the words that you can type in. It might take a little minute because I'm the world fastest typer, but got it done. And this is what I came up with. To me, it's quality. I would sight unseen if I didn't tell you. Could you tell me that was AI created?
If you hadn't said anything, probably no one would probably know that.
Right. That's what I think too. I think it's just that good. But again, this is these guys. So let's get back to them here.
Or tomorrow on the show. Someone tomorrow on the show or right now pay me $50 and I'll write the song. I'll write the song.
Right? Pay you to scam us. You don't pay us.
Hold on. I'll write the song right now and I'll show you the lyrics and then I'll put it in the AI like I always do. I write the lyrics first and then I put it in the AI so they can generate the beat and stuff. Shout out to John Doe. John Doe said, "Wise man don't argue with fools. Why are you giving this man a platform?" Hey, listen, because I was reviewing.
We got to pay him to scam us. Okay.
Shout out to John Doe because I was reviewing.
Is he a scam?
I said, "Well, go get your things at the basement."
John Doe, thank you for the $9.99. I was reviewing the stupid shit that he was saying, but let's get to that.
25. He go gets a couple bags, whatever he say he got. And then as soon as I send me 225, he said I ain't moving. And you know what's more interesting about this?
That was a smart move on his behalf because you can't get the money back.
But you know what's interesting about
I wrote a poem through AI for Enigma and gave it certain prompts. He loved it. Shout out to that.
Hey, Shar, how you doing? Listen, I don't know what it is, but some things you shouldn't read, or maybe you shouldn't put out there. I wrote a poem for a certain Enigma. I hope that was a woman that he was reading that. I was hoping a woman that wrote that.
To El Chico.
Hip for ovulation, that drip. Hip for ovulation, always do it. Everybody do it. Hips for ovulation, always do it. Drip, always do it. That's drip name, hips for ovulation, right? So you're not doing something that we haven't seen. The Portugal and all of y'all people using that fake stuff. Bro, you stop saying that. We know that you just put a whole bunch of talking points that you have said about us and use DJ stuff, use other people's stuff like you acknowledge, and you ask the prompt to do that. Bro, stop trying to make it seem like you create that. You're not even singing your own lyrics, your own diss track. You don't even, bro, you don't have no type of beats to it or nothing. First you said that you only did the beats off AI. Now you saying that you wrote the lyrics and you said
you don't listen at all. I didn't never.
Hold on, why you keep muting me?
Because you don't listen. You're stupid. You don't listen.
You didn't say that.
I didn't never say
the AI.
Hold on. You're stupid.
You say you only use AI for the beats.
You're loud and you're stupid. Meaning, you're loud and you're stupid. Meaning, I use AI to get the music. I didn't. So that what I'm saying is I got the lyrical gifts. I got the lyrical talent. AI puts my song that I wrote and puts it to a beat. That's what I'm saying. Why are you so slow?
Well, make it lyrics.
Well, maybe you should go out and hire a producer, go and get into the studio so it can be mastered correctly and all that. That way you can consider yourself an artist. But, someone typed down in the chat room, you ain't got the money to get to the studio or the car. You can't get a ride. Ain't none of your bandmates or nobody you work with can come scoop through and scoop you up. But see, there's people that will go around the YouTube streets calling other people fakes, making derogatory remarks about other people's crafts. When you clearly got this chicklet tooth having fella right here trying to perpetrate, why don't y'all go around and call out that nigga? Why are you on my platform talking about me? Why you go back to your platform and make a whole stream talking about me? Are you that deprived of attention that you got to tell people that I'm a janitor? That I'm a wannabe DJ? And all you had to do was go back to my channel. Anyone that could actually want to, instead of listening to you yap up out your mouth, all they had to do was click onto my platform and see that not only do I make music, I interview artists, I own a internet radio station, I have other DJs around the globe, but I'm the fake, I'm the fraud. I'm the guy standing in the hot plate line. I'm the guy that's living in my mama's basement. Although my parents have been gone for a couple years now. Now, I could say some nasty things about a few people. And it's all sparked because a young lady that's on my panel right now came up and showed me something called the Prism Files. Did she trigger you that much that you had to go back to your platform and talk shit about me? Do you really want the attention? Yeah, they called me a fake DJ, Mike. Not they. She did. And even went so far as to make a playlist of her greatest hits. Well, you thought I wasn't going to address this? You thought I wasn't going to calm down sooner or later enough that I know that I wasn't going to give you what you wanted? But you thought I was going to let you slip? Only reason I went to hear what you had to say because someone pointed it out to me. You try to discredit everything about me, yet not knowing anything about me. I don't show my people when they're having their parties. So that must mean I never perform in front of a crowd. That's called safety. That's called making sure that you don't put somebody's address out that don't want to be put out. But as I explained to you before, I do have an archive. And the people that I have done parties for, bar mitzvahs for, weddings for, barbecues, live streams from different parts of the country. Thank you, Prism. It's called being a professional, not just arbitrarily thinking you have the right because somebody hired you to play some music for them, that you have the right to broadcast their business out to the world. Hey, Zahara, how you doing? Welcome in. Thank you. But you made it your business to go over there and trash me for as long as you possibly could. And after you was done with me, you called other people up on your panel to trash them out. I'm not here to defend them. And I don't even know really why I'm talking to you about me. You're beneath me. You're road salt. You're garbage. You have nothing to do better with your life. The history of me and your acquaintances tells me that you ain't shit. Leave me be. Don't speak my name. Don't talk about me. Whether it be unjust or whether it be what you're good at, trolling. Leave me be. I have been pest-free for at least 2 years now. I don't want to have to spray for roaches again. Because this time somebody going to have to pay the exterminator. And I think you know what I'm talking about without having to go deep into what I'm talking about. Don't start this shit with me again, because this time you're not going to get off. Now, you're welcome to critique my work here on YouTube. You're welcome to critique anything that I place on a public platform. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. If you don't know me, I don't know you. One thing you won't do, I guarantee you this, you won't drop your ass out that cloud so I could ban you. Not until. I didn't even know who she was until this person came up on somebody else's platform calling themselves windmilling for that other person. Now they're in beef with that other person. Let that make sense. You defended that other person against me, but now you're beefing with the person that you so-call yourself stepping up to the plate for. All I want to do is tell y'all this. I'll give you a hint of who I'm talking about. Scroll onto my platform and look for Rasputia. Go through my archives and look for Rasputia. I don't know, but they are. Now, again, since you had so much to say about me, I would advise you, I don't talk about you. If you notice, I have not mentioned your name once. But my name flowed out your mouth with impunity. I'm in a hot plate line. Only hot plate I have is the food that I cook here for myself. I'm 70 years old. I hope I live to be 70. I ain't quite made it there yet. Prism, you have something to say?
Yeah, I told you this is a whole try to get ahead of the narrative, tell lies, spin lies, acting like they really even know anything about me. Like they do this all the time. 1 minute I'm this, 1 minute I'm that, like she'll just do like little stuff. She thinks it's funny because she thinks like the troll thing is to drop stuff in people's chats, to create videos that create a illusion about someone, manipulating people, telling people stuff about someone, and then when somebody comes out with the truth, Prison's been stalking me. But then when I show up with a screenshot or a video where it says that she basically, I don't want to talk to this person, I want to talk to Prism. And they're waiting, and people come up with a fake name for Prism, and it's somebody else. But she just really, you like, I don't want to talk to you anyway because you dumb. I like Prism. I like messing with her. That's the stuff I'm talking about. But she does this all the time because she's irrelevant. And then she's over there crashing out because she's thinking some movies coming. Like, but okay, sis, if you think a movie's coming.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you know, that's another claim that you made. You said your exact words were, "It's pathetic that I'm trying to capitalize off somebody being a troll." Well, that's what the people that you hang around, that's what they do. Hit the Cash App. We just saw Izzy saying, "Give me $50 and I'll create a AI for you." Why you ain't calling out Izzy?
Well, you know, Mr. DJ Music, I got something for you.
What you got? What you got?
You want to hear something? You want to hear a little taste of something?
Give me a sample. Give me a sample.
Hold on, let me get a little taste of them. Hold
on. Okay, all right. What I need to put up? What I need to put up? Let me put this up here.
I don't have to put nothing up. I'm gonna play it for you. I'm gonna give you a little taste of something.
Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Hold on, let me get set up.
All right. Well, anyway, like I was saying, Miss Lady, I don't talk about you. I don't follow your channel. And if I do see you in other platforms, I don't speak to you. So why all of a sudden you got this wild hair up your ass about me? I don't know. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the 10 jewels. Gold coins, too. See, that the thing about it is, you know, you tried to discredit me, and you thought I was going to come at you like the rest of them hooligans over there, screaming and yelling, saliva flying from my mouth and all that. No, ma'am, I'm calm. I'm cool. I'm collective. You're not going to bait me into the trap that you pulled a few other folks into. I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe, miss. But heed my warning. The last stunt that you pulled, if I was you, I would not do that again. The last time you came into my chat room and pulled what you did, I would not do that again, because this time it's going to cost you. Now, since I know you're probably in the clouds and you're probably clipping this for later consumption, what I would suggest that you do is politely take that video down of you talking shit about me. And it'll be the end of it as far as I'm concerned. But everything that you said on that live stream for that 4 hours that you was there, especially the part that was about me, is a lie. And it's a provable lie. And if I wanted to take it to the proper authorities, that is called defaming someone. That is called defamation of character from what you said about me. Leave it alone and leave me alone. You should not even be over here. There is no reason for you to be over here with me. None. You don't like me and I don't like you. That should be enough to keep enough distance from. Give me 50 feet. That should be enough for you to stay away from me. The fact that the people that I have on my platform you don't like, that should be enough to keep you away. We don't need no raid. We don't need no roach spray. We don't need no Venus fly traps. You don't like my content. All right, Prism, go right ahead. Ready when you are.
Okay, everybody sit back and have a little listen.
Look on that Grey Goose bottle.
Can you hear?
Talk.
Yep.
So it makes a bridge right there, right? Because creative solutions, I was trying to mind my business. I really was. But the YouTube streets be screaming sometimes. So anyway, I I was just like, this is the same chick who's sitting on the panel talking about all these black men are dusty and they're dangerous and femicide and we got to protect ourselves. And man, they've been dragging that chick in the streets. You know what I mean? They've been dragging. And a lot of them haven't been tagging her name. So you have to just know a lot of different people. I ain't going to name no channels, but she has been being dragged all over the place. And they don't even know what we know. They don't even know that part. They don't know that she has been talking for hours on end about black men. Like that's the typical black man. Is dusty. He's a king. He's no good. Right along with Torch. And what we come to find out the other day is that this person is dusty. She's absolutely dusty. And, you know, the irony, I'm going to summarize it real quick. Then I'm going to talk about accountability. But the summarizing of it, if anybody, I'm going to catch you up. Miss Creative Solutions, the sidekick of Prism, right? Former panelist on DJ Torch, who've been talking bad about black men. They're so dangerous, they're so this, they're so that. This lady went into a social media platform, targeted Grandmaster Troll out of all people, started to befriend him so she could extract some goods and services and monies out of this brother. She picked the wrong one. He's a troll, not smart. And so they ended up meeting up. Peso did this interview, very good interview, on Grandmaster Troll's channel, spontaneously. They were dancing in the interview, getting information out of the interview, the truth. Basically, what we found out is that she had Grandmaster Troll, a black man, come to visit her in San Diego where she lives. But when she came, basically, long story short, she didn't have any money. Her child was away. So she had time and space, and she didn't have water. She needed water bill money. She needed gas money. Didn't have no grocery money. Didn't have any money. And what happened was this brother basically pulled out his money, gave her $100 for the water bill, and she asked for more money at later points, multiple times, asked for more money. And then she basically had him come in there with her hands out, with nothing.
Pause that for a minute, Prism.
Her own car to get to and from work.
Could you pause that for a minute?
Paused.
So this is the person that had nothing better to do. I don't have anything to do with this. This didn't happen last week. And for all of you folks that's been in the YouTube streets for a minute, you know that GMT and this person that she's speaking of had a falling out live on the YouTube streets. Now, the person that she mentioned, this is your friend. This is who you're riding with right now.
Yes, sir.
This is who you hanging out with right now.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. DJ Music. But if everybody goes over to Pop Out TV, the video that's on Pop Out TV between me, May, and Creative Solutions, May was saying that Creative Solutions and Grandmaster Troll were two people who liked each other on YouTube, and they were dating and all this other stuff. So it wasn't like everybody said it was, but here is the proof that she's a liar. And see, the reason why May only likes Creative Solutions right now is because she doesn't like me. Because Creative Solutions made me a scapegoat so she could destroy DJ Torch's channel, mess up all the women that were on his channel so that all of us were falling out so she could become this content creator that she is right now. That's their MO. If Creative Solutions was still friends with me, May would still be going at her. Trust me when I say that. Trust me when I say it. Do I need to play any more?
Well, listen. I got a few more minutes. Okay. Play some more. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on.
Is that not dusty? And then she talked about the brother because he said something about her 2 weeks ago. He made one comment. He won't lend money to people because they don't want to pay it back, and he mentioned her. Nobody would have known the chick. Nobody would have thought about it. But she decided 2 days ago that she was going to do an expose on him. She called him boring. She said the brother was pretty much lame. He looked old. She said he lived in a rooming house. That's what she said. He lived
Pause
in a
that. Pause that right there, Prism.
She insulted him in so many.
Now, isn't that what you said about me?
Exactly.
Isn't that what you said about me? Almost verbatim.
Same playbook. Mm-hmm.
Same thing, May. You just put out some information about somebody that you could not verify, but you were willing to say it anyway. Well, I told you I was not going to allow you to get away with disparaging my name anymore. I warned you about that. I told you I don't deal with women, but I will fuck a bitch up. All right? Now, if I were you, if you so worried about the Prism files, this is the last place you want to come fuck with. Because I'll let the Prism files rain down on you. I'll give her full access to my platform. And guess what? Ain't sugar, honey, iced tea the shit that you can do about it. Because this is my platform. And as long as YouTube says I'm allowed to be here, ain't shit you can do about the people that's here. The fuck I got to explain to why I'm friends with somebody because you don't like them. Why Big J got to explain to why he don't want to fuck with you because you don't like him. No, she won't stop. This just didn't happen. You left. I kept my name out of your mouth for over a year and a half. But because you saw Prism on my platform, you decided to inject me back into the conversation. That's the denominator, May. Because I don't know you and you don't know me. I don't talk about you and you shouldn't be talking about me. Like I said, I won't argue with a woman, but I will slap a bitch in her mouth. Since you want to be disrespectful to me, I could be really disrespectful to you. Last time I seen a mouth like yours, it had a hook in it. The fuck is wrong with you? Leave me be. Leave folks over here be. If you don't like Prism, leave her alone. If you don't like this person, leave them alone. Stop being a troll. I'm sure you have better things to do with your life other than being a mother, a wife, and a businesswoman, as you say, than being and conducting your life as the online troll. That's what I'm saying, Corey. They can get it too. You disrespect me, all respect is out the window. And that shit that you left on your whatchamacallit over there, plus the other shit that you said about me in the past, where you thought I don't still have that? You thought I don't still have what you did to me? You try to talk about, go ahead and put your victim impact statement. Well, I'm recording mine for you. I'm uneducated, huh? Who's the real dummy? I thought you could come over here and talk shit to me. Or about me. Prism, you got something else you want to talk? Say?
Well, I could look for the part where Creative Solution comes up and confronts May.
Yeah, let's go there. Creative Solutions. I don't know you like that, but you do come up and you hold your own. So come on, bring it on, Prism. I got a few more minutes.
Give me. Go ahead. Let me find the place and I'll get back up there. Go ahead and talk.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, May. Since I'm a shitty DJ, let me do this. Let me.
DJ Stevie, Sunday nights, 8 p.m. We out. Up the block, turn the dial to the right. The night's gray rolling down the mic. Sunday came slow, work week felt long. Now the bass line knocking. This is where we belong. Old school joints and the brand new vibes. DJ Stevie cutting records while the people arrive. Phone lines light up, requests on deck. From the 90s classics to the current flex. 8 o'clock sharp, no delay, no pause. This is real hip hop, no applause. Just because.
No applause, bitch. None needed. You should have left me alone. Now, see, I was going to be nice, but, you know, nicely and nicely as out the door now. Because I just got a flashback of the shit that you did to me. I know it was you. I have proof it was you. Proof positive. There's no way that you can't tell me it wasn't. I tracked you down all the way to your IP address. That's like that mailbox that's sitting out in front of your house. That's how I was committed to finding out who tried to ruin my reputation. That's how committed I was to try and find out who went on to one of my sites and found the one chink in my armor and exploited it for clicks and views. Well, I didn't make you record that shit some 3-4 years ago. But as I see right now, you are friends with Creative, what's her name? Creative Solutions. Go ahead, Prison. You got it? Well, wait. I got time. Since you want to do a couple hour streams on me, I'll do a couple hour stream on you. And since now we know who I'm talking about, Rogue C, I don't know why you was that nice to her. Rude up, I don't know why you was over there that nice to her. And for all of you other folks that hang up with her, that think that this chick got your best interest at heart, wait until she can't use you anymore. Or wait. Big J, you found out too, didn't you? Remember I told you when I came over to your chat room and I told you better leave them 2 fucking chambermaids alone? Because one of them going to turn on you? The one that I pointed out turned on you, didn't she? Go to her wall right now, Big J. Look at how much shit that she talks about you on a daily basis. You're right, Black and Proud. I am, but in this case, I didn't start this. But sometimes you got to put it to rest. It's like the old Shaka Zulu: never leave an enemy behind. I would not have her in my peripheral vision or in my mouth if she had not made her priority to do something on me. And I'm being nice, believe me. I really am. I really am being nice to her. I really am. But as long as she keeps it in the confines of the YouTube street or social media, we good.
You ready?
Yep, go right ahead.
Did you make your $200? Did you make your money after talking about me? Who is this? Ooh, accountability. Peso Man, did you make your money after talking about me? After spewing all these lies, did you make your money? It's time accountability. Did you make your money? I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna give you about 10 points of correction, child. Because I'm gonna help you. Listen, I was not talking to May, the alchemist. I was not talking to May. You know, I know you like to, you like to run your brothels. You know what's going on over there. You making money off of these. These men out here. Let me give you a couple of things about accountability. I was talking to the peso man. Okay? One at a time. Let's have some order. Have you paid that man his $100 back yet? I don't owe that man any money. It is none of your business. Okay? First and foremost, it's none of your business. Was you fucking him? Was you in the bed with him? That's why you were. Did he come and see you, May? May, did he come and see you? May, was he in your DMs? May, was he in your DMs? You got in his DMs. Okay. Okay, was he in your DMs? Okay, but that's my business. He was in your mouth. It has nothing to do with you, okay? He was in your mouth. All right, it has nothing to do with you, okay, May? It has nothing to do with you or the peso man. I just want to know, did you capitalize? Did you make your $200 gold show? That's what I want to know. Did you make your money? Did you make your money, Peso Man? Don't see how silly she is. Did you make your money? She said no. Be quiet. Okay. All right.
How about this great solution?
You got 15 people in the chat and they not donating to your hypocrisy. You know? Did you give that $100 back to that man? Did you give him $100 back? Is that any of your business? It is. Because you don't have. No, it's not. Is that any of your business? Any of your business that pays. That's none of your business. Okay? It's none of your business. Why you on here? It is none of your business. You see that, Peso? Why you mad? And matter of fact, go get the story straight, okay? First and foremost, the man said that he owes me. He knows that he owes me. Okay? Him and that smirk on his face. He knows that he owes me money. Before you sit there and talk and flap your flapperjacks, I'm gonna need you to get the story straight, okay?
The rationale that you have created, now all of a sudden he owes you money. All of a sudden that he
said he owes me money. I don't owe him anything.
No accountability. If he said he owed you money, so why did he get on the live and roast your ass?
Why didn't I what?
You heard what I said. I said if he owes you money, why did he crank out that live?
You know why he cranked out that live? Because he's hurt.
All right, you can pause it there. You can stop it. You can stop it.
So you get the idea, though. Do you get the idea? Okay.
Yeah, this is the person. Y'all run around together now. Y'all besties the buddies now. Y'all friends now. But in 2-3 years ago, y'all was mortal enemies. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Mm-hmm. How does that happen? Is this what you're really afraid of, those prison files? Are you really think that more stuff like this is going to come out? Is that what the problem is? So let me attack any place, because you can't say that it's prison, because, correct me if I'm wrong, prison, do you have a YouTube channel?
No.
So
I do, but I deactivate it all the time.
Right. No. Right. I mean, do you? I should have asked it differently. Do you broadcast on YouTube?
No, not anymore. No, I did like a couple videos just to kind of mess with them, but it wasn't really about them. It was about other stuff. But it was the same kind of conversation. It was like, and you probably you can hear it in the video. You and I have already listened to this whole video. So what we want people to know is that this whole thing about somebody getting clout and stuff. We know all of May's games. She's been doing this stuff to people for a long time. DJ Torch never had no channel where women were sitting up there bashing black men and all this other stuff. We were having conversations just like everybody else has conversation. But all of a sudden, anytime it's a conversation where, because of the fact that those women left his channel and went with DJ Torch, all of a sudden it's a bashing black channel. But all those women, Creative Solutions included, was sitting on Peso's channel fighting these passport bros all day and all night, making Peso money. He had no problems with it. May had no problems with it or anything. But here's the funnier part, DJ Music. Do you know how May found Peso's channel?
No, I don't.
DJ Torch.
So they were.
Yes.
So
he introduced her to Peso, and look what she did to him. I just need y'all to think about this.
Okay. There it is, folks. I'm doing this for a purpose. If you'd have left me out of your mouth, I would have no reason to speak on you. Now, I implore you, and what you should do, is drop down out of them clouds, hit my link, type something so I could block you. That way I'm not in your peripheral and you are not in mine. I don't subscribe to your channel. The only reason I know about you right now, May, is because someone not Prism pointed me out to you. Someone said she is over there making a video about you. You need to go listen.
And I don't listen to anything she says, but I know how stupid she is.
Hold on just a second, Prism. Go ahead and speak to the people while I take this call here.
I don't listen to anything because I know she lies all the time.
All right.
There's no
Well, folks, that should be just wrap it up for me. Like I said, I just wanted to let you folks know that it's not me that's over there. That's a janitor that's sitting in a homeless shelter, that's living off table scraps. Sometimes you have to cover you. You have to protect who you are. Like my man, like Marlo said in The Wire, my name is everything to me.
Right.
And I'm not going to have some bottom of the barrel, low budget, got nothing better to do with her life chick soil my name because you ain't got nothing better to do than be mad at somebody else.
I would encourage May to stop it, because this right here was minute. Because if I have to, there's a black man on YouTube that if I play that video, everybody's going to fall out with you. I got screenshots, Mr. DJ Music, when let me go and put this one out here because I can give the screenshot. When a certain woman that she's over there with right now, who is a beautiful woman with long locks, I'm gonna leave it like that, a very attractive woman, that is that I've just only seen through passing. I don't really know her that well, but however, she was right over there on Truism's channel, and she gave him a super chat the day he was roasting Mahogany, which I find really interesting. But she does this all the time. This is who she is. She does this to black women all the time. And let's not talk about the men in the manosphere that want to get her also.
Mm. Well, I heard you mention Mahogany Roots, and Mahogany, you know we're from the same area. You know we might pass each other, and you, since you don't know me physically, I will never stop you in traffic and say, "Hey, ain't you her?" Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do that. But this is what you will have to deal with me. This is what you would have to put up with, folks. Mm-hmm. She acts like she's your friend, get your information out you, and then use it against you. Creative Solutions.
And she couldn't do it to me.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's all.
She couldn't do it to me. So
right. So May, again, it could end here. This is your out. As far as I'm concerned with me, this is your out. Don't speak on me. And I promise you, as a man, my word is my bond. I will never speak another word about you. Never. I didn't say other folks won't. And I can guarantee you that I won't. This is your way out with me. I can't speak for anyone else. But for me, this is your way out. I'm this. Don't make this a respond and I respond to you video back and forth. No, I'm responding to the video that you made about me. It should end here.
It better.
Right. It should. Hopefully it does.
It better.
Okay.
That's the shot. It better. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop. Because I feel like, this has been going on with her for years. We've told her to leave us alone. She's been bothering us. It's all this stuff about somebody is in a alternate lifestyle. It's always this. It's always somebody talking about this. It's always someone talking about that. So, let me say this. Her best bet is to mind her business and leave everybody alone. Because if I release everything that I have on May, which I have every intention on, because she's not going to stop. She just, something is mentally wrong with somebody that calls themselves to be a former educator and gets online around all of these men. And a lot of these black people don't even know that I have a screenshot. And I think I sent it to you, that May had a picture of women who have been taken out by other black men. And she basically referred to those people as black trash, taking out black trash. Y'all really may you really want to do this with me? Because you have a really bad reputation all over the place.
Yeah.
I think you need to stop.
Well, I can tell you, honestly, from what I've seen so far, May, I would leave this alone. I wouldn't mention my name anymore. I wouldn't mention Prism's name anymore. I wouldn't mention Corey's name anymore. I wouldn't mention anyone's name that that's connected to this young lady that you so-called said is stalking you. I would leave these folks alone. Go find somebody else to fuck with. There's plenty of loose niggas in the YouTube streets that you can fuck with. We're not one of them. Nobody over here is bothering you. In order for you to know that someone was on my platform the other day, you had to come and search me out. I shouldn't be in your algorithms. Me either, Corey. I never have and never will. I have no reason to stalk anyone. But anyway, Prism, anything else before we get out of here?
No, I just, no, she just needs to leave everybody alone. We've been doing this for the last, let me say this. I never responded to anything that they did to me. Okay. Every time Femi, everybody, every time something came up,
the story,
her and this other troll guy who calls himself Manosphere, he's a nut too. All these people, all she does is mess with everybody. And every time somebody try to build a cool relationship with people, it's always something chaotic with her. This is somebody who said that they grew up with their father. I have I'm really conflicted. How you could be in a healthy relationship. This is per my father. My father said, May, he doesn't understand how you can be in a healthy relationship with your husband and spend as much time as you do online talking about everybody else. How do you spend that much time online talking about everybody? Don't give me this stuff about you able to go around, do what you got to do, as if everybody else don't have that option to do the same thing. You're just a messy, and you're not a troll. You're just cruel. You're just a cruel person. You're less than demonic. You're a cruel person. Like, to attack autistic people, to attack all these Black women and Black men for no reason. And it's not just this space. It's Manosphere spaces. It's Chantel Simone. It's Crimson Cure. It's Danica Marie. It is everybody. Six the Goddess. It's everybody that you've been messing with. It's not just us. It's not just us. The other day I heard it was Rogue C. I wonder how long it's going to be. It was Bomb Cherry. It was PH Diva. It was Sharon. It's been Brownsville. It's been all these people. I wonder how long. And Big J, Pure Butterfly, Maggie.
Pure Butterfly.
Maggie, the white lady that's a psychologist for the Manosphere. She attacked that lady, didn't even know her. Like
BGS.
Yeah, look. It's a sickness in this person's mind.
The list goes on, May. And what I'm trying to tell you is I don't want to be a part of your troll brigade no more. I don't want you to talk about me. I don't want to talk about you.
Right.
That's it.
Everybody's sick of her.
Right. That's the bottom line to it. If you have nothing to do, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. In the best of business, in the line of business, is to mind your business. If you got no business made, make it your business made. To leave other people's business alone, May. To each his own. That's a song. You should know about it. And again, and I'll say this from a man that was married. There is absolutely no way that you can tell me that you are in a loving, committed relationship. No way. No way. You got too much time on your hands. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get on up out of here. Again, May, leave it alone. Or this will continue. Not from me.
You were about to see was inspired by actual events. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preaching preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We're taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,